Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Draisaitl could easily, at plus money, get the first goal, the second goal, the fourth goal. There's a few guys here. Maybe the prop betting market is not a bad way to look here.
Clippers over the Mavericks. If I would have told you that score before the game, knowing that Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing, I would have really figured it would have been the other way around. But the NBA is just crazy.
In-game live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
DraftKings making a progressive move, I think, that most other companies are also going to do or have done in the past. Adding someone from the government or someone you would say in legislation to become their responsible gaming leader here. And in this case, her name is Lori Kalani.
And it'll be interesting to see if other companies try to follow suit in terms of hiring former lobbyists to head responsible gaming.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
I think they're looking for a space where they can be comfortable, perhaps make some NIL money in the process, but be better set up long-term as opposed to it being 1 year jumping around.
You want to kind of get your core players that have been here a couple of years and then go get the high-profile recruit and then supplement at the transfer portal.
Inside the transfer portal, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. Gotta love this time of the year. Playoff games and multiple leagues going on at once. But with that being stated, it's a little sad as we go on. You'll see the schedule starts to thin out pretty quickly once we get into the second rounds of these leagues. Lakers up 5 right now, 48-43, $1:37 left in the second quarter. The in-game total is 208.5, so we're at 91 points. And the game is a pick-em, minus 115 on both sides. Denver are generally slow starters in these games, and the Lakers, I'll tell you what, the Lakers have led. I heard it today, how many minutes it was. It's like the Lakers have led. I think it's like 160 minutes in this series now. Like the Lakers have actually, if you remember the game the Nuggets won, Jamal Murray hit the shot at the buzzer once. Like the Lakers are giving Denver all that they can handle. And Denver are just getting a little cocky, I think. They think they can just sort of flick the switch all the time. It's a dangerous way to live. But 51-45 Lakers right now. I need the Nuggets to win this game. As far as the hockey game is concerned, the Vegas Golden Knights have taken a 2-1 lead on the Dallas Stars. Let's bring in George Kurtz right now, who no doubt has his eye on this. George, good to see you. What do you think of the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knight game? Who are you on?
I'm on Vegas. I just didn't think that Dallas would win both games in Vegas. Dallas dominated that game over the weekend. I mean, they looked great. I always felt bad for Logan Thompson because the game-winning goal, not the greatest goal here. And he sort of gave up the same goal, the first goal of the game here. He's going down on one knee before the shot's even off on plays that are parallel to the goal line here. Stay up. Stop doing that here. So, but I thought Dallas played great. I just didn't think they'd win both games in Vegas.
I think what hockey is, there's no momentum from game to game.
That's right.
There really isn't, right? Like they're in the playoffs, there's momentum in the games, but from game to games, there really is no momentum. And you see, good example is last night, the LA Kings deserve better. But the Edmonton Oilers really, I'm not going to say they got dominated, because the 33-12 was a little deceptive. Like how many legitimate scoring chances did the Kings have? They had a few breakaways, but for the most part, like there wasn't, you know what I mean? Like Skinner wasn't asked to do a ton, like even though they got outshot 33-12. But I'm just stating that like hockey's so strange, man. Look at the Canucks yesterday, guys. They had no business winning that game against Nashville.
Nope. That's hockey.
That's
they played
it,
terrible in the third
They
period.
did.
Like the Canucks were flat. Like the Canucks scored. The Canucks have scored on their first shot of the goal 2 times in this series, and 13 times this year, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. 13 times this year, guys, the Canucks' first shot of the game has gone in. All right.
What?
So they scored early. They were getting like seriously outshot. And it wasn't like the LA, Nashville, or Edmonton, George. Nashville were getting legit scoring opportunities. Like the Canucks goalie stood on his head. The kid stood on his head. That's the only reason why it was 3-1 at the time. And then Buddy on Nashville misses the empty net on the backhand, which wasn't as easy as of a shot as everyone thinks online. It was like, you missed an open net. It's like, it was a weird angle. He tried it on the backhand. You should have, you got to bury it, but it's like the Canucks were lucky, but it doesn't matter. They're up 3-1, and they seem to have more luck than the Nashville Predators do. Let's just call it out for what it is. I think they finish them off tomorrow, Kurtz. What's your pick?
I think they finish him off as well tomorrow. I think that'll be it for the Predators here. I agree there's not really meant the one day to the other, but I do wonder if there's, oh, God, how do we lose that game? And that carries, especially if the Canucks can score early. Score a goal early, I think it's all over the crying for the Predators here. Just hasn't been their series for whatever reason. Casey Smith's a good goalie. Even Zaslav's a good goalie, but their second and third string goalies, you got to be able to beat them with Saros, and you haven't. That's the bottom line is you have it. And I agree with you about the empty net goal. We've seen much worse empty nets missed than that. Much worse here. But maybe it just tells you he had an empty net, hits the post. Besser gets his hat trick with 6 tenths of a second, 6 seconds left, whatever it might have been, and then they bury it in overtime. Just not your playoff series. Maybe Vancouver is sort of destined here. So, I think the Canucks end it tomorrow.
Game winner, Lindholm, too, who they acquired in a deal. And he really didn't play well. He was getting criticized a lot, Cam, in Vancouver after the deal. But he stepped up. But that play was made by Connor Garland. Beautiful pass. You would have buried that, Cam, in the slot, just like Tim Kerr.
Damn right. That's me. Dave Andrechuk, Tim Kerr with a little more pizzazz in the corners, Morency, but you're right. I love that. Thing about Lindholm is, and when he played for the Flames, he came through in big games. And I'll tell you something about Connor Garland. That guy was a gem with Arizona. He was such an underrated player. Vancouver's brass deserves a lot. Look at the moves that they've made, Gabe. They picked up good players from teams and young guys, too, who have fit in the system and have become good two-way players and very strong players at both ends of the rink. Kudos to the Canucks GM. They did a great job, unlike many teams in the league.
Patrick Alvin, Swedish guy.
He's smart.
He really is smart. Jim Rutherford's the president, and Alvin's sort of the hockey. The Canucks have a deep hockey exec room.
Brain trust. Mm-hmm.
Cami Granato is actually there. Ray Ferraro's wife. He's married. Remember Cami Granato, USA women's legend player. She's an executive. Yeah, she's like a big-time exec. Like, she's the assistant to the general manager, I think.
She's one of the best female hockey players of all time.
President of hockey operations, whatever. Like, you'll notice the Canucks, they have the European flair, but like you said, everything they've done, bro, the Rick Tocchet hire is genius somehow. No one thought of hiring Rick Tocchet after the gambling scandal. He didn't even win when he was a coach. So it was a weird hire. I thought it was a weird hire. Tocchet's like one of the best coaches in the league by far. Look at their goalies. They bring in Casey DeSmith, the backup. They look at the draft pick that they have. This kid comes up right now. And I would ride the kid out here. I would ride the kid. One thing about the Canucks, though, they're getting beat up here, guys. You brought it up earlier, Cam. If there's a team, if you're the Canucks, but I don't think it's going to happen. I get the feeling they're destined to play, and I'll get to go to the game. So whatever, we can't fight destiny. I think the Canucks are going to win tomorrow, and the LA Kings are going to be screwed, George and Cam, because the Oilers are going to be like, let's just get to Vancouver and play these son of a bitches, right? They're going to want to end it on Wednesday, and then you're going to have Saturday night hockey in Vancouver, Edmonton at Vancouver on Saturday night. The series will start.
I will give you my opinion, though. Edmonton is a flashy team. Nashville plays that dirty finish your check game. I'm not saying Edmonton's not tough, but they're very offensively minded, and they tend to be not a team that would wear you down. That's why you worried a little bit about LA, but they're so much more talented than the Kings. Vancouver brings a little more grit to the table, and they have offense. So if there's one feather in Vancouver's cap, they can play with the Oilers, and as we saw, they beat them multiple times this year.
You know what the problem is, though, and you just said it, is Edmonton's getting through this pretty much unscathed against LA. Like, they're not getting beat up in the corners, you know what I mean? Like, and if you guys are watching this Nashville-Vancouver series, I saw Frank Cervelli tweeting out, what's wrong with Quinn Hughes? What, you mean the guy that, like, made a spectacular spin play that kept the puck in the zone and then they tied the game? That guy? Talking about him? Nothing's wrong with him. What's wrong with him is he's, you know, probably like a $180 soaking wet or whatever the hell he is, and he's getting lit up back there.
Yeah.
2-2 hockey game.
Yeah.
Sorry, I need this bad now.
Johnston again.
Yeah, love Johnston. He's good. That guy's underrated. He's a very good hockey player.
It's amazing because they're not getting anything from Rupe Hintz,
I know.
Pavelski.
I know.
I mean, wow, this guy's really playing fantastic.
He stepped up this year, though, George. You saw his numbers.
I think Thompson got hit in the head again.
He's the real deal.
I don't like that from Thompson. Thompson's off tonight.
Yeah, that's what I need.
I think he got hit in the head again on the original shot.
He did get hit in the head and startled him.
Yeah, he did. He got right in the noggin. Hey, man, that's yeah. Oh, yeah. You said he kind of dipped down a bit. Like, yeah, he got stunned.
Nah, he's fighting the puck. You can just sort of see, like, you're like,
he's fighting the puck. Yeah, it's not the regular.
It's not
Thompson.
your fault. You got hit in the head, but you got hit in the head. Like, how come you didn't stop it? Like, you know what I mean?
Hey, get a harder head, Thompson.
It's like, come on.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Draisaitl could easily, at plus money, get the first goal, the second goal, the fourth goal. There's a few guys here. Maybe the prop betting market is not a bad way to look here.
Clippers over the Mavericks. If I would have told you that score before the game, knowing that Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing, I would have really figured it would have been the other way around. But the NBA is just crazy.
In-game live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
DraftKings making a progressive move, I think, that most other companies are also going to do or have done in the past. Adding someone from the government or someone you would say in legislation to become their responsible gaming leader here. And in this case, her name is Lori Kalani.
And it'll be interesting to see if other companies try to follow suit in terms of hiring former lobbyists to head responsible gaming.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
I think they're looking for a space where they can be comfortable, perhaps make some NIL money in the process, but be better set up long-term as opposed to it being 1 year jumping around.
You want to kind of get your core players that are going to be there a couple of years, and then go get the high-profile recruit and then supplement at the transfer portal.
Inside the transfer portal, only on SportsGrid.
Level 2 continues. This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. We pulled the trigger on the under of the Atlanta Braves and the Seattle Mariner game, as we discussed off the top of the program. The Seattle Mariner pitching staff has been second to none over the last couple of weeks. Absolute dominant under baseball team. And the Braves have been a big under. Yeah, the Mariners came in tonight 9-1 to the under in their last 10. The Braves came in 8-2 to the under in their last 10. It was a low total at 7. It's scoreless in the 7th right now. The total is 2.5, George Kurtz. Did you bet this baseball game? The Braves and the Mariners.
No, because I didn't trust Max Fried. I know he had the great start last week where he shut out the I forget who it was, but he
You don't trust any pitcher. You wouldn't trust Bob Gibson.
You know what?
I took a shot at you earlier. I didn't take a shot at you, but I brought it up.
I would take his over strikeouts. I would take his over outs. You know,
you would trust Bob Gibson? You trust Sandy Koufax? At least, yeah. Okay.
I trust Sandy.
You're right.
It
needs to be a big name. Yeah, big name for you.
Tom Seaver.
Roger
I'll
Clemens.
do it, Tom Seaver, sure. You know, but that was his only good start of the year last year. Week he was terrible before that. So, but it's when I look back on it, I know the Mariners can't hit. They literally have they're a bat short, maybe 2 bats short. So I'm not happy that I didn't do it.
You know what, though, George?
They're in first place. They're winning.
You know, eventually they're going to play well. Like when a star pitcher starts off, he's going to figure it out. You know that. You're a baseball guy. It's not going to be crap forever. What?
There's a lot of rumors that something's going on with Fried, that his velocity's down. So there's other things going on there. But once again, he looks great again now. Miller, I wasn't all that worried about. But no, it's what I am sort of kicking myself a knot because I misread it or didn't trust myself. So bad on me.
There's been a lot of unders in baseball recently, guys. Yeah. Like the Cubs and Mets. I played that under tonight and I won. And just recently, I don't know if it's the pitching. I don't know if it's bad hitting.
Hate the Mets.
Not me.
He has
the
a
Mets.
no-hitter.
Hate the Mets.
I'm on the
Hate
Mets,
the Mets,
and I still can't get a win.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to the game. I'm going to the Met game on Thursday. Go Cubs.
Go Cubs.
What are you going to a Met? What are you going to a Cub Met game for? That's very unlike you.
It's my buddy's birthday. He's a Mets fan. He's got tickets in the Hyundai Club, whatever that is. So
the Hyundai Club.
Hey, it's free food.
Sounds good.
Free food, free soft drinks. I'm there. Yeah. I told him I'll drive. I'll pick you up. We'll go.
Sorry, Gabe. So what are you like a Ferrari club or a Porsche club? But I like a Hyundai. I'd like a Santa Fe. Club, but yeah, the Hyundai Club. It sounds very economical.
That's all we can afford, Cam. Okay, we can't afford the Ferrari Club. All right.
No, I can't either.
Club.
Nope.
Well, they're trying to reach their fans. You know, they're not selling Ferraris to Jet and Met fans.
Fair enough.
Frank and Estelle in Queens. You know what I mean? They're buying Hyundais.
Yeah, exactly. You're damn right they are.
So you get a bet on the Cubs out of spite, George? Even though your buddy's a Met fan?
That game is actually Ben Brown versus Adrian Hauser. That is an over if I ever heard it. All right, Hauser's got an ERA of 15 over his couple of starts. Yeah, that's what it'll be. I can't get the Mets right. I bet on them, they lose. I bet against them, they win. Over, they'll go under here. It's an annoying team, the Mets here. But Severino's pitching a gem, and as soon as he gave up the hit, take him out. Please take him out. Please take him out. No, they leave him in, and then of course they tie it up, and then of course Diaz, who no one can ever hit, but I bet on him. Morel hits a long 2-run home run. So just and Bill Murray's at the game. Nice,
George.
Bill Murray's at every game.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
The Reds are leading San Diego 4-1 right now in the bottom of the 6th. I didn't play this game, but I actually kind of did think the Reds would win this game.
I'm on the Reds, but I have a confession.
I'm on the Reds.
I took the Pirates, and that was a bad move. Oakland's taking them out to the woodshed
Pirates
right
too.
now. That was a stupid
I also
bet.
took the Pirates.
My boys told me, don't bet the Pirates, but I still did it.
I like the A's today, but I didn't do it. You know why? Their first game back from a road trip.
Yeah, I don't believe in that stuff anymore.
I stuck to it in that, and for them, they were happy with their road trip. Very happy. They went 4-6. Like they understand. You know what I mean? Like their manager said. He goes, our guys battled. It was a good trip. We're happy with it. They took 2 or 3 ones against Baltimore.
2 out of 3 from Baltimore.
They played good.
That's what I'm saying. They were happy with it. And I was like, wow. I don't know. You guys are happy with your success going back home here tonight. Pittsburgh have really hit a wall since their early hot start. 5-1 for the A's right now. Dodgers and D-backs, Kurtz. Captain Chalk, please tell me you were on the Dodgers tonight at this short price tonight.
I did one of your plays here tonight. I covered the board as far as total bases are concerned. And I see what score this game now? I can just see the game, not the score. So
6-1.
That's not going well for me. Oh, 6-1. It was 2-1 when I came on. So
6-1.
Nice. All right, that's beautiful. Yeah, I'm all over the Dodgers tonight. Took them on the run line and the money line, and Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, all 2+ bases.
The Dodgers are starting to go on a roll here. They swept Washington. They won 2 or 3 against the Jays. I thought it was a weird trip, though, for them going back now to the West Coast after the East Coast like this, and then playing on a Monday in Arizona. They lost Arizona, of course, in the playoffs. And Cam, I know a lot of people talked about, it's revenge, and they're going to be fired up and stuff. And when you're a team like the Dodgers, that's not what's going to fire them up. And it didn't. I know they're winning right now, but the Dodgers were asked any sense of revenge against the D-backs, and they were absolutely none.
No.
They didn't even remember losing to the D-backs. Whatever.
The whole goal, World Series are bust this year. I got to be honest with you. When I looked at that line, the suspicious better in me, I'm like, that's a really low price for the Dodgers. I even had to play them tonight at that price, and usually I get with suspicious lines, but yeah, I got a parlay cooking.
I think it was the cross-country trip, Cam. The quick turnaround cross-country trip, playing Arizona. Those
what
the
it
people.
Is, though, Gabe?
You got to bargain with the Dodgers tonight.
Agreed, but I also believe this, and I know a lot of people, first game back, this and this. I usually think it's a second or third game because you can play on adrenaline for a while. It's one of those things. I'm not buying into the first game back crap like a lot of the time. You bet what you want. It's a great line for the Dodgers, and we're all on the Dodgers tonight.
I still buy into it. I remember the late, great Brian Blessing had that argument that it was the second game back.
Yeah.
I can live with the second game back theory. Listen, the first game back, it's a little different. Different sports are a little different. Baseball is relentless. They have the worst travel out of any of the leagues, right? These other leagues would be like, you're crazy. We're not playing in Arizona, 16 hours after we're in Toronto.
Exactly.
Baseball, though, is tough. That's where you're going. Right?
Yep.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Draisaitl could easily, at plus money, get the first goal, the second goal, the fourth goal. There's a few guys here. Maybe the prop betting market is not a bad way to look here.
Clippers over the Mavericks. If I would have told you that score before the game, knowing that Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing, I would have really figured it would have been the other way around. But the NBA is just crazy.
In-game live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
DraftKings making a progressive move, I think, that most other companies are also going to do or have done in the past. Adding someone from the government or someone you would say in legislation to become their responsible gaming leader here. And in this case, her name is Lori Kalani.
And it'll be interesting to see if other companies try to follow suit in terms of hiring former lobbyists to head responsible gaming.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
I think they're looking for a space where they can be comfortable, perhaps make some NIL money in the process, but be better set up long-term as opposed to it being 1 year jumping around.
You want to kind of get your core players that have been there a couple of years, and then go get the high-profile recruit, and then supplement at the transfer portal.
Inside the transfer portal, only on SportsGrid.
Two in Vegas right now. About a little under 5 minutes remaining in the second period of play. Looks like the building is rocking. A lot of American cities have cheerleaders. They don't do that in Canada, George.
No.
See, like the Canadian hockey teams, George, are like the Giants and like the Pittsburgh Steelers and stuff. We don't need cheerleaders, right? We don't.
Depends on how good your team is.
People come for our team, but you're right. It's a good
Leafs
point.
need
It's the
strippers.
newer teams. It's the newer teams that need to sell tickets. So like Tampa in the old days got a bunch of hot girls like shaking their ass in the aisle.
When the Islanders sucked in the late 90s and the early 2000s,
Oh, they
the
had the
Ice
hot
Girls
ice
were the
girls.
only
Oh,
girls
yeah.
in the lot.
Ice Girls, yes.
Right? You went for the Ice
They were
Girls.
great.
And then
What
they
do
had
the
to get rid
Leafs
of that
need,
because
Gabe?
it's sexist.
They need more than Ice Girls. They need like sex capades, like something, like a show.
The Leafs, I would fire. Like we were talking about firing the coach, but I would, and I don't want people to lose their jobs, so I would just whatever. I'm reassigning the guy because whatever.
Yeah.
The guy could be tuning in.
Yeah,
you'll mute
Yeah,
mutually cut ways. How about that?
No, I'm reassigning you. Like, I'm reassigning
Put him in the janitor closet. Everybody needs to go. I'm with
What I
you.
was going to say,
He's gonna run the Zamboni.
the overall person that runs the Leaf game production and the whole thing needs to go.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's sort of like we're going to change the lights. We're changing the theme. Like, dude, you go to a break last night, Saturday night. You're playing the Boston Bruins. You play Justin Bieber, Baby.
Oh, I know.
Baby. So, I mean, the rink's all empty. And a bunch of people sitting there, like, looking all, like, nervous and flat. You got Justin Bieber cranking. And the Bruin players were, like, kind of laughing. They were talking to each other. They could, like, communicate with each other on the ice and stuff. And then, like, you tune in to these, you go to Dallas after, Cam. And it's like, dun, dun, dun. They're playing like Pantera, shrieking loud. Like you can see the players can't hear each other on the bench. And it just creates like a different, like I was surprised. Vancouver went pretty heavy. They got it. Like they've raised it up a notch in the playoffs. There's a lot of metal. It's dark in the arena. They turn the lights off and turn them back on with the spotlight a lot and stuff. Like they're getting aggressive. Like, you know what I mean? West Coast teams get it more than the East, it seems.
I went to a playoff game with our boy Darsh's buddy James a long time ago, the Seahawks fan. I'll tell you, Vancouver's atmosphere was way better than Toronto's, man. They were partying. We were in a wicked section. Like, it was party time. And that was years ago. Vancouver's doing a good job. The Leafs are a train wreck. I've been telling you this for 20 years. It's like literally going to kindergarten.
Fantasy teams.
The D-backs just scored the 3 runs, 6-4.
Oh, they did they? Here we go. Here we go.
Run was 10. I need another run for the over.
Oh, God. And it's whatever. I already got paid for the Dodgers because they were up by 5. Did I? I think I did. Yeah, I did. I got paid for the Dodgers. Yeah, I did. Looking at my account, I wish I didn't because I could use the money. But like the Dodgers. I'm also on the Philadelphia Phillies. I was feeling pretty good about it. They blew the lead. It's 4-4.
Oh, I'm on the Phillies too. I didn't know they blew
Yeah.
it.
The Angels just tied it.
Lovely.
Phillies
Son
are
of
hot.
That was what Chris
yeah,
Sanchez
and the Angels are not.
Yeah, the Angels just suck. Doesn't matter what you do with those guys. They're a train wreck.
It was almost like too obvious, but whatever. We'll see. The end of 6 right now. 4-4. So we're going to the top of the 7th. 2-2. This game slowed down a little bit here. Someone has got under 6.5. I need this to slow down. As I say, this Dallas oh, God. Man, this guy Thompson makes me nervous.
Oh, God. Dallas has been dominating this period.
They've been dominating this game. Vegas is lucky they're not down, but that's
Well,
hot.
it's 22-20 shots on goal.
No, I'm just saying that's George, though. Like, Gabe, the percentage of scoring chances, Dallas has had way better quality. They've been the better team, but it's hockey. You got to score, man. You got to bury it.
Dallas minus 128, minus 132 for the Stars.
It could end in a perfect way, Gabe. 4-2. I win, you win.
Vegas?
5.5 over, 6.5 under. Think positive.
They're big dudes, but they look like they're slowing down to me. They were slowing down a little bit. Like, yeah, Dallas's speed is starting to like pay dividends for them in this series. Like Vegas are big. Oh my God, that was a nice save by Thompson.
Yeah.
Like they're about to give up a goal before the end of this period. Like we got to hang on for dear life here. Oh my God.
You and George do, not
there
me.
it is. And now that was a bad goal. I just said it.
Yeah,
He was down.
I need the Stars. Can you help me, gambler?
he made the nice save, and then he did it again. So he went. It's like, dude, get up after you stop the puck.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Draisaitl could easily plus money get the first goal, the second goal, the fourth goal. There's a few guys here. Maybe the prop betting market is not a bad way to look here.
Clippers over the map. If I would have told you that score before the game, knowing that Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing, I would have really figured it would have been the other way around. But the NBA is just crazy.
In-game live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
DraftKings making a progressive move, I think, that most other companies are also going to do or have done in the past. Adding someone from the government or someone you would say in legislation to become their responsible gaming leader here. And in this case, her name is Lori Kalani.
And it'll be interesting to see if other companies try to follow suit in terms of hiring former lobbyists to head responsible gaming.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
I think they're looking for a space where they can be comfortable, perhaps make some NIL money in the process, but be better set up long term as opposed to it being 1 year jumping around.
You want to kind of get your core players that have been there a couple of years, and then go get the high-profile recruit, and then supplement at the transfer portal.
Inside the transfer portal, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. We're kicking the Cam Stewart in the house. George Kurtz with us. We're talking Major League Baseball, NHL, hockey. The second half has started in the Mile High City. The Lakers are showing something. The Lakers were down 3-0 in the series. They got swept by Denver last year. And a lot of people, including myself, thought, listen, I thought the Lakers could play with them, but I gave up on them. I thought, yeah, you know what? You're going to get swept. They showed up on Saturday, was it? Over the weekend, the Lakers showed up. They're showing up again tonight. Like I said, they've actually led like pretty much the majority of every game of this series for the most part. And they're currently up right now by 8. Denver are going to go on one of their runs, though. The Nuggets are plus 105 on the money line, plus 1.5 on the point spread. The in-game total right now is 213.5. And as far as the hockey game is concerned, you could see it coming. That was a massive goal by the Dallas Stars late of the second period there. They were tied at 2. They were swarming. They were firing the puck at the net. And they it was playoff goal, the definition of a playoff goal. They fired it at the net, and it hit a Dallas Star and went in. But they did it deliberately. And it's legal. Like, it wasn't kicked in like Nashville's goal was that counted, which never should have counted. But 3-2 right now. The total is 7.5 in this game. And the Vegas Golden Knights, guys, this is pretty crazy. They're plus 310 on the money line right now, only down 1 goal.
Good value. Excellent value on Vegas. You're making me think. I'm on Dallas. We can hit this upside the head twice. I'd like them to go up.
Dallas should be minus 425. So that's a big number for a playoff game. They
have 1 goal. They should be what? What do you get? What's your number? 260? 280? Come on.
They're being outplayed badly.
They are, but Vegas
the
can
period
also
couldn't
turn
come
it
to
on.
an end quick enough for them. They need to regroup now. They need to regroup, get some fresh legs over the next 18 minutes. it was a matter of time until Dallas scored. If Dallas comes out that hard again, remember they dominated on Saturday. They're dominating again. Right now, they just look like I can't believe they actually look likely to beat Vegas twice in Vegas. I would have never thought that was going to happen.
Dallas is sort of a road game. They're a better road team. See the way they play on the road compared to home. They try to get too flashy at home with their stars and the way they play too loose. If you see Dallas on the road, they're more methodical, and that's their style. And I think they're just a team that just likes to go on the road and play their game. That's my opinion. I think they're a great road team. Best in the league.
Home ice doesn't really mean much in the NHL.
Yep.
Just point blank.
True.
Right? Like teams play better on the road for the most part. The Nashville Predators have lost like 5 straight home playoff games now. The Leafs have lost 6 straight playoff games at home. They're not the only ones. Like teams like your Islanders, George, teams lose at home all the time in the NHL. It backfires. Teams play better on the road. Hockey teams just play better on the road. They play more responsible. They take less chances. They get less caught up in the crowd. They get caught, you know what I mean? You get caught up. That's my only deal, George. I brought it up earlier with the Canucks tomorrow. But they get caught up in the moment, which is what happens to teams, especially a younger team, right? The crowd's going crazy. You see there's all these people outside, like partying on the street when you drive into the arena if you're a player. Like, players aren't dumb. They know the vibe and the pulse of the cities that they play in. So there's going to be a lot of excitement with the Canuck players pulling into the arena tomorrow night. We'll see how they channel it. Vegas are just tired, guys. To me, like I said, they just look tired. They're not a young. Vegas are an older team. Everyone talks about Mark Stone coming back in the games that they play and stuff. It's like, yeah, he also hasn't played hockey in a while, and he's going to get tired. Like, it's not just easy to step onto the ice and play this level of hockey, this pace. They made the Cup last year. They won the Cup. They made the playoffs deep for the last couple of years. They played a lot of hockey, guys. It's going to catch up to them. Like, they're not going to go very far, this Vegas team.
Good point, Morency. And Stone, it's going to take a while for him to get ready. They have a lot of guys that are banged up. Do you know the Dallas Stars? They were 26-10-5 on the road this season and 26-11-4 at home. A little slightly better on the road, but that is a brilliant road record. Absolutely brilliant.
Great great road team. Dallas Stars 63-58. Denver going on a little bit of a run in the basketball game. So, George, NFL draft. Jerry Jones said he was going all in with the NFL draft. No one really knew what that meant. Well, we kind of did, that it was just nonsense. But nevertheless, the draft is done for the Dallas Cowboys. What did you think of the Dallas Cowboys draft?
I thought, in a vacuum, I thought the Cowboys had a very good draft, right? I thought they took the players they needed. I love the trade down in the first round. You got the extra third-round pick here. You probably got the guy you wanted anyway. Maybe it would have been Barton, but you still got Guyton there, the left tackle you needed here. You ended up getting you're going to convert Bibby to center here. That should work. You get the linebacker. I probably would have taken a more of a run-stuffing linebacker, not a speed linebacker. All right, but still, all right, fine. You get some more depth cornerback, wide receiver, more tackles late here. And Nealon to the edge. They needed an edge to replace the guys they lost. So they replaced the guys they lost, which all sounds fine and good. If these guys all play great, the Cowboys will be fine. The odds of that, it's going to take a couple of years for these guys to really get there. I would have liked to have taken a running back instead of the linebacker. But this could have all been alleviated if the Cowboys would have signed one of the 17 running backs that were free agents. Just one of them. And then you're actually kind of good here. I keep joking that I'm going to name my fantasy team 2nd and 8 because that's what the Cowboys are going to be in a lot. 2nd and 8 with Zeke, Malik Davis, Rico Dowdle, all these guys. They don't have a running game here. They just don't have a running game here, which is going to put more pressure on Dak Prescott, which is what he doesn't handle well. He doesn't handle pressure well. So I don't know. The draft, I thought it was a solid draft. I did think it was a good draft. They did what they had to do here, but how this team is put together, you don't have a wide receiver too. Not that you didn't really have one last year either. Gallup signed with the Raiders today. They'll need some work, and a lot of things go right to compete this season. Those rookies had better be ready to play right away and play well.
I will agree. I find it baffling as well that they didn't roll the dice and take one of the running backs in the draft as well. Right. And you look at the running back room that they have, it's far, far from being NFL quality. I mean, Zeke, like you just went through it. You got a massive problem right there. I like the players that they took. I think they're all like, the Cowboys are a good drafting team. It's the one thing we can criticize Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and the Cowboys for this and that, but they are very good. They do have good scouts. They have a good war room. They do draft good football players, but at the same point in time, their roster blows. Like I said, this would be a good draft if you didn't have the problems that you had already. It seems like he wants Dak to fail so he can move on from him. I mean, that's just basically the gist of it to me. Guyton is a stud football player out of Oklahoma. You talked about Nealand. I tell you what, I know the Bills like Nealand. A lot of people did. I don't know, though, to be honest, about this pick here, only in the sense that you're talking about somebody that played at Western Michigan against MAC competition. This is a big step up in class. So I know that he had a good pre-draft and all this, but it's a big step up in class now. The Connor Beebe kid, another one, stud, 6'4", 335 out of K-State. You talked about Liafu, the linebacker, George out of Notre Dame. This guy is like a heat-seeking missile type of linebacker. Flies around, tries to hurt you and kill you and stuff like that. But he's pretty, reckless at the same time.
They needed a run stuffer.
Yeah, he's not that guy. This guy's more of a freelance sort of nut job linebacker type guy, right?
Freelance nut job.
He's good plays, but he's consistent. And the Cowboys can't stop the run.
Beatty's amazing. That guy could play guard, center. He was great at game.
He'll have to play center because the Cowboys don't have one.
He's a steal in the third round.
You took the wide receiver that all the draft nerds seem to be in love with. I'm not going to lie and tell you that I don't know. I didn't watch any Southeast Missouri State games this year. So he's one of the few guys I don't know. But I know that they like him a lot. Wide receiver, 6'2", 205. We'll hit more on the other side. This is Sports Rage.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Draisaitl could easily, at plus money, get the first goal, the second goal, the fourth goal. There's a few guys here. Maybe the prop betting market is not a bad way to look here.
Clippers over the map. If I would have told you that score before the game, knowing that Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing, I would have really figured it would have been the other way around. But the NBA is just great.
In-game live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
DraftKings making a progressive move, I think, that most other companies are also going to do or have done in the past. Adding someone from the government or someone you would say in legislation to become their responsible gaming leader here. And in this case, her name is Lori Kalani.
And it'll be interesting to see if other companies try to follow suit in terms of hiring former lobbyists to head responsible gaming.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
I think they're looking for a space where they can be comfortable, perhaps make some NIL money in the process, but be better set up long-term as opposed to it being 1 year jumping around.
You want to kind of get your core players that have been there a couple of years, and then go get the high-profile recruit and then supplement at the transfer portal.
Inside the transfer portal, only on SportsGrid.
The Denver Nuggets have taken a 72-71 lead over the Lakers under 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter right now. We'll keep our eye on this. We got George Kurtz, Cam Stewart in the house. Let's take a look at the Major League Baseball board right now. Still 4-4 in L.A. With the Phillies and the Angels in the OC, I should say. 4-4. 7-4 Dodgers. So the Dodgers have added another run. They're up 7-4. Kurtz, you hit your over. The A's are still up 5-1 on the Pirates. We're in the bottom of the eighth. End of 8 right now, Cincinnati and San Diego. Really, all these games are really late, and it's 1-0 for the Braves in the bottom of the 8th inning right now. A lot of the games are off the board. They're so late, or they're like crazy numbers. The Angels have runners on first and second, though, guys. Hockey, as we mentioned, the Dallas Stars are minus 425 favorites right now. Vegas are plus 310. Over under 7.5. Looks like our 6.5 is in trouble. We're talking NFL football. We've got the NFL draft. We were talking about the Cowboys. Could take a look at Cam's Seattle Seahawks.
Interesting draft.
I thought the Seahawks had a good draft. The Seahawks have a new culture with their new coach, who's the polar opposite of Pete Carroll. Right? Pete Carroll's a rah-rah, chewing gum, out there listens to Fish and probably smokes a lot of weed type of guy. And
I like that.
Mike McDonald comes in as a sort of Harbaugh. He's like a meaner Harbaugh type. Like he's part of the Harbaugh crew, McDonald. He coached with the Baltimore Ravens. He went to Michigan. He went like Michigan and Baltimore. Michigan are going to lose this advantage now, the Wolverines. The Wolverines had Baltimore Raven coaches. Like basically John Harbaugh would send Jim a guy and say, listen, this guy's my linebacker coach, but he's going to be a future defensive coordinator. So why don't you take him now and in college and make him the DC, and then we'll take him back in the NFL after, right? And they sort of had this little system going. McDonald part of that system. And I was watching the Seattle press conferences and just the overall vibe and the media around the team, and everybody was talking about it's a completely just different atmosphere, culture with this coach. And then Cam, I'll tell you, you're going to hear it a lot and stuff about, wow, this guy's the best of this and the best of that and stuff. But Byron Murphy literally, some had him as their top defensive player. The problem is his versatility. He doesn't have it. So that's why, that's what stopped him from being a slam dunk first overall defensive player taken. But this guy's a monster on the line, bro. Think old school if you're a Seahawk fan, a Cortez Kennedy type, which is strong words. But just a big man in the middle. He ain't coming from the edge, this guy. He likes to push the center right into the quarterback. You know what I mean?
Remember, you're right, Dave.
He collapses pockets, this guy. He's in the middle, interior, and he lands on you with his big body. Like I said, if you're a Seahawks thing, it's sort of think sort of like a big Cortez Kennedy type on the line. That's what they went with.
Excellent point. Remember with him and Sam Adams, they were two of the beefiest guys back then, and they used to dominate in the interior. I'm going to tell you this. I never knew Murphy was a Seahawks fan either. So I watched afterwards, and when he was a kid, his favorite team was the Seattle Seahawks playing at Texas, and he loved the Legion of Boom and stuff. So he was thrilled to be drafted by Seattle, too, which really cool. Made me happy. Yeah, it was very cool. I didn't realize, wow, he's a Seahawk fan? That's cool. And then that kid they picked up out of UConn is a very, very good player, too. Kind of like Georgia's team. It was a nuts and bolts draft for Seattle, and I like that. None of this stuff. Don't be flashy. We got to build it again. Our defense has been absolutely dreadful, and we need help on the line. So I'm very happy with what we did, Morency. We picked up good players, solid guys, and I think Murphy's going to be a stud. I love the pick.
I talked, George, about the Michigan connection with McDonald, so he had to get a Michigan player in there. He took A.J. Barner, tight end, Michigan, who actually didn't really make a ton of plays for Michigan. They didn't throw it to him very much, and but he's a great blocker, and he's got a ton of skill. And by the way, he's 6'6", 250 pounds. So you got yourself a big target to throw the football to here. He's going to play, Cam. You don't take a tight end in the fourth round unless you expect him to play. Barner's going to expect it to contribute to this team. And one last thing about the Seahawks, guys, and I'll throw it to you on this, Kurt, so then get Camp's take. But there was talk about a quarterback, right? And we talked about, maybe they take Spencer Rattler later or this or that. And they like Sam Howell for real. Like, Geno's on the clock. They're going to run Geno out of town, and they're going to start Sam Howell after. They're going to give Sam Howell a chance as long as Sam Howell continues to impress them. But there's a reason why they got him, and they like him. And like I said, Geno's going to not quite look over his shoulder, but Sam Howell's ready to take over there, George. Like, the word was from everyone that covered the team was they didn't take a quarterback because they think Sam Howell was better than anybody they could have gotten.
Oh, at that point, they're probably right. They were drafting at 16, so 6 quarterbacks were gone. I think Howell was better than Rattler, sure. But I think
Sam Howell's better than Bo Nix is.
Yes, he is. And another thing is he played behind a horrible Washington line. He's running for his life all the time. And another thing,
Sam Howell had a great, like, he's battle tested. Yes, like, he got dropped into the fire and survived. Like, a lot of people would have crumbled.
One more thing, Abe, you know this because you're in the know. Seattle also, through free agency, he didn't get drafted, but they picked up that Cordero kid. Like, he might make the team third string or whatever. Remember, Hawaii and San Jose State, too. They just picked him up, undrafted free agent. So, anyway, I'm a big fan of Howell, and I think he deserves a chance, George. He's a very young player with a horrible offensive line in Washington. Let's give him a chance.
I think he deserves a chance as well. The Angels scored 2 runs on a wild pitch. They scored 2 runs on a wild pitch.
The Angels.
Oh, the Angels. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Don't worry, Dodgers are doing okay. Aren't they up 3 now?
Yeah, 7-4.
Will Smith had a home run for the 7th run there, so that's going well. But the Phillies. No, I hate the National League East pretty much. I just hate them.
I like the DBs Cam the Seahawks took. They took 2 Auburn DBs. Like I said, the Seahawks took a bunch of tough kids, physical guys.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Draisaitl could easily at plus money get the first goal, the second goal, the fourth goal. There's a few guys here. Maybe the prop betting market is not a bad way to look here.
Clippers over the map. If I would have told you that score before the game, knowing that Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing, I would have really figured it would have been the other way around. But the NBA is just crazy.
In-game live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
DraftKings making a progressive move, I think, that most other companies are also going to do or have done in the past. Adding someone from the government or someone you would say in legislation to become their responsible gaming leader here. And in this case, her name is Lori Kalani.
And it'll be interesting to see if other companies try to follow suit in terms of hiring former lobbyists to head responsible gaming.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
I think they're looking for a space where they can be comfortable, perhaps make some NIL money in the process, but be better set up long-term as opposed to it being 1 year jumping around.
You want to kind of get your core players that have been there a couple of years, and then go get the high-profile recruit and then supplement at the transfer portal.
Inside the transfer portal, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. We're going to get into the NFL draft with Mo Khan as well. But, George, what were your thoughts on the draft? Is there a team that you liked coming out of the draft you think is going to have an impact? Because we can talk about these players and stuff. Like a good example is the Cowboys and the Seahawks. Good draft, good players, but nothing that moves the needle. You know what I mean? Nothing that's like, oh, yeah, man, they're going to win more games this year because of this. Who sticks out to you as a team that you're like, oh, yeah, I like the free agency and the draft combination that they put together?
Well, I'll go with the number one pick of the Chicago Bears, right? You add Caleb Williams, you get Odunze. They already added pieces in free agency too, right? And you traded for Keenan Allen here. I mean, all of a sudden that's an offense, but it's a rough division to compete with automatically here. You said move the needle because my first team that came to mind was actually the Washington Commanders, but they're going to need time to grow here.
That moves the needle down the road with Jaden Daniels potentially. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a much lighter needle.
You know who did underrated work, Gabe? Arizona. Take a look at the players they drafted. I think the Arizona Cardinals had a very good draft from like watching just games in college and stuff. I think they did a really good job.
Well, a lot of teams sort of doing the Houston method, which teams didn't do before, and Houston did it last year with the C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson. They were like, we want to get like who we think is a big-time quarterback and who we think is the best defensive guy in the draft. And a couple of teams could argue they did that. Arizona will sort of say that. Listen, we got Marvin Harrison and we got Robinson. Robinson's a great defensive lineman. Like he's, you know what I mean? So they really had a great high impact there. There's still a lot of holes on that roster, but I think they are going in the right direction, that team. You can't argue what you said about the Bears. The Vikings as well sort of fell into this category, which they got a quarterback that they liked in J.J. McCarthy. And then they also got Dallas Turner as well, who was favored to be the number one defensive player taken in the draft. So they're feeling pretty good about that. I don't know. We'll see. J.J. McCarthy is going to be expected to beat out Sam Darnold for that job. But I would agree. The Chicago Bears, and don't forget, so their win total is 8.5 now, the Bears. Can they get to 9? Sounds ambitious almost, but
that's a rough division.
They won 7 games last year.
Yeah, they did.
Are they not 2 games better? They won games with Tyson Bagent as their quarterback. Like there's a big upgrade.
The defense is good, and their defense actually played a lot better.
Yeah. Keenan Allen, like, there's no excuse for Caleb Williams now. Like there's a lot of pressure on Williams. You better deliver because there's not like, well, you don't have anyone to throw it to. It's like no. And another thing is, some people think Roman Dunze is the best wide receiver too. You know what team I thought was stupid was the Giants. Like, what's the point of taking Malik Neighbors when you're quarterback? You're going to throw him under the bus anyways. He's average. He's in your last year of the deal.
Get receivers every year, and they don't even use them. Like, what about the trap guys in Tennessee? It's like, what are you guys doing? Like, you draft
You take a wide receiver when you're good, and you're like, okay, we need to add this piece. You know what I'm saying? You don't do a wide receiver. Like, your offensive line isn't even good. You just lost Barkley. Like, you don't. I thought it was a weird pick.
The Giants are all over the place. They're all over the place. It's hard to pin
like Malik
them down.
Neighbors, good player. I'm not saying Neighbors is a good player, but I'm saying the pick didn't make sense for them. They would have been better off just taking one of the defensive linemen or something.
I don't think they were ready to move on from Daniel Jones. I don't think they're ready to move on from Jones. They need one more year to prove it to themselves that he's not the answer, and he won't stay healthy for 17 games anyway.
Yeah, or Dable just bought himself another year, and then he gets another quarterback.
They don't even use, as Morency's point. Like, when you're drafting these guys, you don't even use them. Like, the Giants don't even, fit a need then. Get some protection for the quarterback. Do something. Don't just draft these burners and don't even use them. Like, they're draft.
Who cares if you have Malik Neighbors if Daniel Jones is running for his life? He doesn't even have Saquon Barkley to hand it off to anymore.
Thank you. Yep.
Like I said, they don't have a plan, the Giants. They're very... You know what I mean? Is Dable, is he comfortable in his job? Or can you rebuild this thing? Are you not rebuilding it? Because you're not close to winning. That division is just, it's the Eagles and everyone else, man. I mean, we'll see about your Cowboys, Kurtz. We'll give credit to McCarthy for coaching them up. But I don't like this Cowboy roster very much, to be honest.
Cowboys under 10.5 wins. It's a hard schedule, too. Cowboys come back down to earth.
I love George. He's just always against his teams.
Under.
Very real. Under we go.
Look at the schedule, man. Their schedule. They play the AFC North. This is a rough year for the NFC East.
You're right. Tough schedule.
I like the Tennessee Titans as well. I like the Titans offseason a lot, guys.
I agree with you, Dave.
What about Levis?
They got, they got some talent.